Hello, it's John, Shopkeep Arty, and I have got Alex Tolstoy, the Alex Tolstoy, next to me. Hello, Alex. How are you?
Hi, John. I'm
Uh,
doing fine.
Good, good. And the reason we're here to talk about an upcoming art series. It's a three-part art series, and it's happening one class per month over a few months, and we're going to be exploring lots and lots of different techniques or materials. I'll let Alex talk all about it. So the first one I'm going to introduce you to is called Gyotaku,
Right.
and it's happening on Tuesday, 19th of March at 3:30 in the afternoon UK time. Gyotaku, before I launched this video, I was just rehearsing with you how to pronounce that, and I think I did get it right first
You
time.
did, you
So
did, as far
good.
as I know.
So what is Gyotaku?
Gyotaku is actually a rather ancient Japanese art. It's a way of fishermen used to use it to record their fish catches. This was before photography. So what they would do is catch a fish, and then they would do this imprinting, and this would prove basically the size of the fish and give them a recording, a memory of it, if you will. And we use it today still, and for things other than fish. In fact, it's useful for all sorts of objects with lots of detail.
Okay, okay. And so yeah, some of the reference paintings that you sent, which obviously you can see on our class info page, look amazing. I mean, that fish, obviously, we were just talking about the fish, which is the historical,
Yeah,
but you can do it with leaves, you can do it with lots of different things.
right.
Reminds me a little bit of potato prints, but I'm sure it's a little bit, I'm sure it's a little bit more detailed than that. But it looks like you get some fantastic, you get all the veins on the leaves and things.
Exactly.
Really
Exactly.
interesting. And what are we going to be using for the actual class? Are you going to be picking a particular thing to paint in the class?
Well, I've got a couple of things in mind. I'm going to go and get a fresh fish
Oh,
so we can actually do an imprint of a fish. You can't predict what things will look like in terms of. I won't be reproducing what you've got, what I have already done, because there aren't any more fish like that.
no.
So I'll get a fish, and if any of the leaves have come out on the trees by March, I'll pick some of those. If not, I will take some ivy, which is around, smaller than usual, but still good. And you'll see with the imprint on the rice paper how those veins come out, because ivy has lots of nice structure to it as well.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant. So I guess if you want to try it at home during the class, go and grab, I'll put these instructions on the class info page anyway, but go and grab maybe some leaves, things like that. If you want to go and get yourself a fish
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
then go for it. But yeah, let's see who can get the biggest fish. Swordfish. Let's do it.
Oh my God.
Right. Now, the next class, which now all of these classes are on a Tuesday and they're sort of middle of the month. So it's quite easy for you to plan and schedule. So the first one obviously was in March. The next one is on the 16th of April, Tuesday, 16th of April, 3:30 again in the afternoon, UK time. And this one is entitled Painting on Handmade Washi paper and also on black watercolor paper. So maybe a little bit about that, Alex.
Okay, the washi paper, as mentioned, is handmade, so it's got lots of nubs and grooves and texture to it. And also, the Japanese used to make wonderful washi paper. So again, this is in the Japanese tradition, if you will. And what you get as a result of applying watercolor to that sort of paper is a sort of softness to it that you won't see normally on normal watercolor paper. So we'll see some of that. I think gave you a flower as a painting. And the black watercolor paper I discovered or was told about fairly recently and have just become enamored of it. I didn't know it existed, but it does. And it's interesting because you don't see colors on it like you do with regular watercolor, white watercolor paper. You really want to emphasize white. So what I tend to do is use a lot of gouache. And in fact, I have found, here's something else that I was wrong about. I said in previous webinars that once the gouache has dried out, it's dead. Well, that's not true. It turns out you can revive it with water, like watercolor paints. and you use that revived wash to paint on black watercolor paper, and you get some really interesting features. You emphasize just the structure or the shape of the object, not the color. So this allows you to not deal with color, but to really emphasize composition and shape.
Wow, wow. I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens in that class. It sounds really that's great. I love how, I mean, you've been around the block, so to speak, Alex, but you're always investigating new materials, trying to find new things to keep everything really exciting. So you love experimenting, which is fantastic. So that's great.
Indeed,
And
indeed.
for those watching, if you may not, I don't know whether you'll be able to find black watercolor paper or washi
Oh,
paper.
you can.
Oh,
You
you
can.
can. Okay.
Oh, yeah. If you look at art supplies places, they have black watercolor paper.
Okay. So you will be able to get that. But
Yeah.
if you don't, maybe you want to watch the class and join in live to start with, just to kind of see what it's about before you
Right.
invest. I mean, it's up to you. If you
Sure.
want to order it in advance, then do. By the way, by paying for this series, you also get the videos included in the price. So you can join in live, and obviously, if you can't make one particular one, you've always got the video that you can come back to as well. So it gives you good peace of mind, and you can watch them time and time again. Then the final class on Tuesday, 14th of May, 3:30 again, UK time, is called Painting on Yupo. Again, all these amazing words, new words to add to my
A new
vocabulary.
vocabulary.
Yeah, yeah. So what is Yupo?
Well, Yupo is officially a paper, but it's really like painting on plastic because the paint does not sink into the page. It sort of floats on top. So what you get are some strange effects, which you'll see. You get a kind of puddling of the paint, which you don't get with watercolor paper, where the paint will sink in. And it takes some getting used to, because if you want to paint something detailed, like an architectural structure that has windows and all sorts of, you don't really want Yupo, because Yupo will loosen you up. You don't tend to get a lot of detail. Things sort of smear out, and you have to have a whole new outlook in order to paint with Yupo. I tried it a number of years back, and I was not thrilled with the results. But more recently, I tried it again, and I would say you just have to be in the right frame of mind. You have to kind of let the paint do what it wants to, let the water do what it wants to, and go with it.
It's got looking at the reference photo, the reference painting you sent through. It's very unusual. I was trying to think, does it look quite acrylic-y? But it doesn't. And then I thought, does it look like you've blown some paint with a straw? Not. It's got a very, very unique look to
Its
it.
own character. Yeah.
Yeah, it really, really has. Oh, that is going to be absolutely fascinating. 3 really fascinating classes where it'll introduce you to some new types of mediums to really take your art to a not really the next level, just a different level,
A different level,
a
exactly.
very different one, which is always worth experimenting with, and you might come up with something really, really quite creative. Between all the classes, we'll have a month, obviously, and you'll be able to share. We'll give you a link that you can share your art if you experiment at home, and then Alex
Great.
can make some comments about it and things like that. So you get all that feedback. So really looking forward to it. If you can either purchase just one class if you want to throw yourself into one class, or if you want to purchase the full series, you get a discount as well. And obviously, if you're a patron of SKA, you also get a further discount on that as well. So have a look at the class info, and the link to the class info page should either be below this video or above, somewhere around this video. So have a look for it, hunt it out, click on it, and you can go to the class info page, and I'll give you all the information, including the link to go and book a ticket. Alex, thank you so much for sharing your time today. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm quite curious about these things as well. And if I see something I like, I've got a whole load of materials here that I end up buying because I think, oh, that looks really
Oh,
interesting.
yes. We all do that. We all do that.
I know.
We think the next object will make us great painters.
Yes, exactly. Brilliant. Thank you so much for your time.
Well, thank you, John.
I look forward to seeing you soon at the beginning of the series.
All right. Very good. Well, thank you. And let's hope the technology behaves.
Yes, exactly. It normally does. It's normally fine.
Yeah.
Take care, Alex. Bye.
Bye, John.